So welcome back to The Human Perspective. Today we're filming at the Ford Foundation, and it really is my privilege for us to be interviewing Simi Linton, who will be very difficult to interview in an 8-minute period of time. But I think, as for many of our interviews, the purpose is for you to learn a little bit more about her, and then to be able to look her up and read her books and look at her film and follow what she's doing now, what she's done in the past, and what she'll do in the future. So welcome, Simi.
Thank you, Judy.
So, Simi, how did you get involved in the arts?
Well, I, from early in my life, I was an arts junkie, and my mother used to take me to the theater when I was a little kid, and I grew up in New York City and very much craved arts. In my work in disability studies and as an activist, I've always seen my job in disability work as taking disability public, considering how the ideas and the formulations and the language and the culture of disability could be brought to a broader audience.
Many people who are going to be watching this don't really understand what we mean when we talk about culture of disability.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could talk a little bit about why you think that's so important,
Mm-hmm.
and what people can be doing in their own lives to
Mm-hmm.
really begin to think about and resonate to the issue of culture and its importance.
Okay, that's a challenge. When we talk about disability culture, we talk about the ways that disabled people as a group, as a community, have come to talk about ourselves, the language that we use, whether it's CRIP or other GIMP or other ways we've come with a great sense of humor to talk about ourselves. It's the shared experiences that we have. Disability culture is not one thing. It's varied hugely by where you live and how much access individuals have to each other. You know, very often disabled people have been kept apart. They've been part of their families' insular worlds. But when disabled people have had a chance to get together, we come up with ideas and ways of thinking about our situation. And a lot of that goes into thinking about disability culture. So I always encourage disabled people to find each other, to rally around each other, to rally around our unique experiences in the world, and to look to those experiences for stimulation and experience. And it's not just the medical conditions we have, it's the weird alienation that we often feel from the mainstream society and so forth.
Wait, let's look at the issue of alienation for a
Mm-hmm.
minute. When you think about alienation and you think about the arts,
Mm-hmm.
Are there certain artists or films or books that you feel people could be looking at, learning from,
Mm-hmm.
to look at this issue of alienation? Because I believe that we say in the United States there are 57 million disabled people. Many of those people may not know that they have a disability,
Mm-hmm.
from an Americans with Disabilities Act protection perspective,
Mm-hmm.
but they may feel alienated in communities,
Mm-hmm.
afraid of talking about themselves in their totality.
Mm-hmm.
And so helping people find each other,
Mm-hmm.
and learning, I think, about how, as you're saying, coming together
Mm-hmm.
can be very invigorating, empowering,
Mm-hmm.
and really enable people as individuals to be able to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your suggestions using the arts about how to do that?
Well, before I get to how to use it with the arts, I mean, I think in terms of social and cultural environments, it's a lot of people talk about claiming disability, owning the fact that I'm a disabled person, and you are a disabled person, and how we have, as vastly different as our experiences might be, that we have a common bond. So claiming disability is often the first step, and there's a process of coming out that people say, initially are reluctant sometimes to say, I'm a disabled person, I have a disability. But once they claim it and own it and claim it in the company of others, it's often an exciting moment, a bonding moment. In terms of films, there are, there are some documentaries. I will plug my own, which is called Invitation to Dance.
It's a great piece.
Thank you. And it is...
Where can people get it?
On Amazon. You can stream it or rent it.
Tell us its name again.
Invitation to Dance. And if you go on my website, which is similinton.com, SIMILINT.com, there's a link there to the film, and you can learn more about it, and then go on Amazon and check it out. There are memoirs that people have written, a beautiful memoir that Eli Clare wrote called Exile and Pride, a lot that does deal with alienation very much. Many of the books that people have written, Corbett O'Toole has written a memoir. Other people that we know have, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on names right now of people, and I'm going to shoot myself later because I'll remember them all once we stop. But the experience of alienation, a lot of people talk about in their early years of disability, whether those early years of disability were if they've lived with disability all their lives or come to disability at some point in their lives, the sense of not being part of being set apart. And it's something that I think is important to pursue. And so, harking back to the first couple of things I said, that one of the things that's important to me is to take disability public in order for disabled people out there who may not have claimed disability, who may not have claimed their place in the community, will be more encouraged to do that, as well as non-disabled people learning more about this constituency, this community, this activist group that has a great deal to say about disability and has a great deal to say about justice and so forth. So,
we have like 2 more minutes left.
Okay.
So I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
On dance.
On dance, okay.
I think dance, because it's liberating.
Mm-hmm.
I think inclusive dance has been something that is happening in more communities around the United States.
Mm-hmm.
You've been very involved with it.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your feeling about inclusive dance as a particular area?
Mm-hmm.
How can people support it?
Mm-hmm.
What has it meant to you?
Mm-hmm. I think disabled people on the dance floor, whether it's social dancing or on stage, is one of the most dynamic and exciting expressions of human life and love and rhythm that I've ever seen. And I think early in integrated dance, meaning in performance, we saw typically wheelchair users recapitulating steps and moves that non-disabled dancers use as a way of imitation, saying, look, we do this too.
Right.
But the field has morphed and changed and been opened up in profound ways so that disabled people whether wheelchair users or people with other kinds of conditions, are finding ways to use the bodies we have, in expressing something very new and innovative. So instead of someone imitating what non-disabled dancers do, disabled dancers are now creating our own new art form. And I urge you to go on the websites of Access Dance, Kinetic Light, Heidi Latsky Dance, Full Radius Dance, Jess Curtis and Claire Cunningham. There are a number of different groups out there, and I'm really skipping over loads of them.
Right.
Please check them out, because I think anybody interested in the arts and in dance will find that mind-blowing.
So unfortunately, we've again come to the end of our time, and I really want to thank Simi for sharing a little bit of her knowledge. But I think the important points that I take away from the discussion today is finding yourself, looking at ways of connecting with other people, looking at how to instill a sense of pride in who you are, and looking to be able to meet up with, whether it's on social media or in person or both, other people who you can share your thoughts with. So thank you very much, and thank you, Simi, so much.
Thank
and
you.
See you the next time.
Okay, thank you.